You know, when I ask him of, you know, a textbook or you know, a pen for school, my mom will always buy those things for me. But he will always say, I don't have no money. And besides that, I am not going to waste my money on you because you will never become anything anyways. You're useless.
Look at me. Tell me what you see. See, I am like
hello guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing? Here is your girl Linda. Okay, as I said, you know, I had a dad in Germany, and you know, I was so proud, and I was excited to finally, you know, be united with my dad. I haven't seen for years, you know, or that I haven't really known, you know, that was literally a stranger to me. So yeah, so we're just, you know, getting ready, getting the paperwork done. So we're like about 2003, I think. Then we hit the road, you know. We finally moved to Germany. And also before, like, before we moved to Germany, my dad, you know, told us, like, don't worry, come. I have a house with seven rooms. That's what he told my mom. I have a house with 7 rooms. I have 2 cars. I have, you know, everything set, everything ready, right? So we trusted him. And of course, my mom, you know, they were like, you know, they were officially married. So that was a husband. So why should she, you know, have any doubt, you know? So yeah, we were happy, you know, to go to Europe, to Germany. And in my mind, I was just so excited. Like, I had such a funny imagination of how Germany was gonna look like. You know, I was, as a child, as an 8-year-old, I had so many fantasies. So for me, Germany or Europe in general was just like a big, you know, a different universe, like a different planet, you know, where the floors were like shining. Like, in my mind, I just imagine the streets were full of this glass, marble, whatever floors. Everywhere is clean. Flying cars, flying trains, and you know, just all over the place, just elevators all over the place, you know, and just like, that was my imagination, you know, white people, clean and, you know, educated, and you know, up here. We landed in Germany, excited to have my own room and, you know, just, you know, live life and enjoy life. And, you know, everything turned out differently, all right? So the 7-room house he told us, we did not see. Where is it? Where is the 7-room house he told us? There is no 7-room house. We literally landed in a little city called Einbeck, and we find a 2-bedroom apartment, a living room and a 1-bedroom. And in the other room, that other bedroom, my brother had that bedroom. That's his son from his white lady had his own room. Guess where we slept? We slept in the living room on the couch. My mom and dad slept on the couch, and I slept on the floor on a mattress that's this thin. Welcome to Germany. Do you understand? So this loving and caring and, you know, fabulous father that I imagined to meet, that I was so excited to meet, wasn't that amazing as I thought. That was quite disappointing. So yeah, So my mom was like confused, like, why are you lying to us? Like, why? So he treated us badly. He didn't provide anything for us. He didn't even have a job. He didn't have a job. My mom went to work. She was cleaning at that time. She had to work as a cleaner. Unfortunately, you know, she couldn't speak the language, so she just did anything just for us to have, you know, something to eat. Because my mom has to work. Like, she cannot just stay at home doing nothing. That's my mom. And so my mom started working, and he would tell my mom, you know, he was kind of a control freak. Sometimes he had good moments, but sometimes there is this demon that will just come out of him. And I still remember this scenario where they were having a fight. I will never forget it. He locked my mom outside in a winter, in a cold winter. It was snowing outside. My mom just tied a wrapper, you know, wrapper or towel around her body, and I just remember him locking her, just pushing her out of the balcony, just locking her out to punish her for whatever. Could not get this picture out of my head. It was just like a nightmare to me, and I found myself just really being so worried when I went to school about my mom, if she was okay. And it was just like, we were here, but I didn't feel welcomed. I didn't feel comfortable. I feel like a stranger. I felt like a stranger in that house. Like, you know, on top of that, my brother, that's his son, you know, I mean, to me, he's also a stranger. He didn't like my mom on top of that, so he would just, you know, be disrespectful to my mom as well. And it was just a place, a home where there was no peace. And on top of that, my father just didn't care about me. He was taking the child support money, knowing that we had no clue about what child support even means, because we're coming from Nigeria, we don't have those things. So he would just sign without my mom knowing, and he would get all the child support money, and for years he has been taking it. We didn't know. And later, I think someone told me about it, and I told him, and he was so mad. He was like, well, what are you talking about, and stuff like that. Anyways, so he wasn't providing for the family. He wouldn't even buy me gifts, birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, nothing. He wouldn't. But he would buy his son, you know, a laptop or phone or everything. So like, his son was like, yeah, you know, that's my son. And, you know, his other, you know, 2 kids from his German wife. But I was like, you know, I was rejected. I can say that. Like, I felt rejected, and I felt overlooked, and I felt I didn't feel the love that I expected or that I wished to have from a father. So and on top of that, he would say like stuff like, oh, actually later we moved out of that little apartment. We still, like, we moved into a bigger apartment, but still, like, it didn't change the fact that there was so much drama in our home. And like, you know, when I ask him of, you know, a textbook or you know, a pen for school, my mom will always buy those things for me. But he will always say, I don't have no money. And besides that, I am not going to waste my money on you, because you will never become anything anyways. You're useless. The only thing you know is singing and dancing. You want to be a superstar. That's what you know. You don't want to read. You don't want to do anything. And in my mind, it's just so heartbreaking, because how do you expect me to be, you know, be the best in school? I'm new in this country. I don't even know the language. Do you understand? But I actually learned the language very fast. You know, I learned the language very fast. So after like 6 months, 1 year, my German was good, very good. So, so he would just say all this mean stuff to me. Like, if I ask him of money, he's like, "You're not the only child that I have. You know, I don't have no money for you, and you know, there's just a waste of time and stuff like that." And these things were hurtful to hear from a father. But to me, I haven't accepted him as a father. So I think I could get over it real good, like, because to me, he was a stranger. But at the same time, it really damaged me in the sense of just seeing the way he treated my mom was just like a turn off to me. So, seeing a man not doing anything, my mom, you know, I respect my mom. I see my mom doing all the work, and he's just sitting there and just being so disgusting. And that to me, later on, I realized how much it influenced me and how much these words he said to me, what he did to me, because he always underestimated me. He always said, you know, you're never going to become anything. And these words, they stuck to me. And on top of that, I was bullied in school. Like I was bullied in school a lot because of my skin color. I was bullied, and not only bullied at home, but bullied in school by other children and even by teachers. And because I was bullied, and because, you know, obviously I could feel that, you know, I wasn't welcomed, it really motivated me to learn the language even faster, because I wanted to understand what they were saying. Because sometimes I was accused for things that I didn't do, and I couldn't even defend myself because I couldn't speak the language. So I learned the language, and I wanted to have friends, you know, like I wanted to have friends, and I felt I needed to lie to be accepted. So I think I started lying a lot. I started saying stuff like, yeah, I've met this superstar before, and I've seen the superstar, and I come from America or something like that. I don't know. I started lying, and when you lie, someday the truth will come out. And they even bullied me the more. So sometimes I would close from. I remember a scenario where, you know, I was just, it was a break time in school, and I just, this 19 kids, 19 children just surround me. I don't know exactly what led to that point, but they all just surrounded me, and were just calling me names, were stepping on my shoes, were pushing me around. And I remember one girl broke my finger because she didn't want me to play with them, and I wanted to force myself kind of to be part of the game. And she pushed me and then broke my finger. I remember just going home, closing from school. And on the way home, you know, five people, 6 people from my school, my schoolmates, 7 of them, boys and girls, will just be waiting for me in a corner, waiting just to spit, like they're gonna drink a bottle of water, their bottle of water, and just spit it on my face, and throw my bag into the bin and stuff like that. And yeah, there's just so many things that have happened. So many things. Just been accused so many times of things that I never did. And yeah, so even in school, like teachers, like I've had a teacher telling me, you know, you will not make it, you know. It was a hard time, and I didn't have no rest. Like, I literally have no rest, because when I come home, it wasn't my home. It wasn't my home, coming home to my dad, like where I felt rejected, where I didn't feel loved. I just couldn't find rest. And I really also didn't wish to go back to Nigeria either, because in Nigeria I would have been molested. So where am I actually safe? So I'm in this stress, you know, and I am constantly still dealing with the trauma in Nigeria, still dealing with it. Matter of fact, now I am like, you know, 9 years old now, 10 years old. I'm, you know, matter of fact, I'm reflecting on the things that happen in Nigeria and feeling even more guilty and more shame and more disgusted about myself and everything, and so much. And then I still have this nightmares, you know, this horrible demonic nightmares, to the point where I was still peeing in the bed at the age of, I was still peeing in the bed at the age of 11, 12, you know, because I was just everywhere, it was just too much for me. The whole stress, you know, in school, the whole stress at home, and it gets even worse because the fact that I was still, like, sometimes will still be in the bed will even make it worse, because my father will even mock me the more and make fun of me the more, and tell me mean stuff like, what type of child are you? Like, aren't you ashamed of yourself? And I mean, I must say, like, most African households don't really know how to deal with, you know, those issues. And sometimes it's just medical issues. Like, if your child still pees in the bed at such a advanced age, sometimes it's just because your child has such a deep sleep, or is just some type of hormones that stops you from peeing at night is not produced. So you can go to the doctor and get medication for that, but most people don't know it in African homes. But I know in my case, it wasn't only the hormone thing. I think maybe it's a mix of both, but it was more a mental thing, a mental distress, and again also this nightmares that was just so scary. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't enjoy my sleep. I couldn't sleep as a child. I never slept. because at one point I was always so scared to sleep because I was scared to pee on my bed. And then when I finally sleep, I'm scared because of the constant nightmares. So I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. You know, everything was still going crazy. And my father, fast forward, my father kind of finally decided to start working. So he decided to start a business. You know, he decided to open a shop, like a, you know, Afro shop, is selling African food and stuff like that. And it was actually an idea, you know, that my mom actually gave him. You know, so he opened that, that shop. And because our city is the place we stayed was very small and there were no black people living there, he decided to open this shop in a close city that was called Göttingen. So it was like an hour drive from where we lived to that place. So so many things happened. He kicked us out of the shop. Like he told us we weren't allowed to come into the shop because he was having parties. He told us we're not allowed to come to the shop because my mom kept telling him, like, why are you giving everybody everything on credit, you know, like you're gonna have debts, you know, people are not gonna pay you the money back, you know. So he was a guy that was nice to people outside but never took care of his family. So I remember when I used to go to the Afro shop, everyone was like, oh, Linda, you were so lucky to have such a great father. And in my mind, I'm just like, if you guys knew what we're going through at home. And yeah, so he kicked us out. We were not allowed to come to the shop. He was having parties. He was gonna stay out. He just stayed out late at night, you know, was living his best life, going to the club and stuff.